Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Hostile Territory. And this is a new Western from writer-director Presley. And this film focuses on a soldier who thought to be dead, his wife dies, and his children are sent off onto an orphan train to go live with their older brother, who's just wrapped up the Civil War as well. And they wind up going off into the wilderness up to Montana, and it's a rescue mission as, you know, some horrible, murderous Native Americans come into play, and this is starting to really sound like a Western from like the 1950s. And I think that's probably one of the biggest issues with this. This film feels very out of time and feels way too traditional Western, and like you don't even have the excuse, it's like, it was a different time then. It's 2022. And I feel like that's the biggest issue because it just doesn't feel right. And, like, these Native American characters have no characterization except, like, they murdered children because they're animals. And it's just, like, and there's no complexity there. Like, there's some elements where it's like, oh, but there's some good ones, but they don't really explore that. The film is really well shot. Mark David, the cinematographer, captures this beautiful setting. John Koutsounelis is the composer, who, it's a beautiful score. It does get a little overbearing, like the sound mixing is just like music, and it does get like big and swelling and a little melodramatic and overly dramatic, and that's kind of the vibe of the film too. It feels melodramatic, and a lot of the actors feel very, I don't know, they don't quite feel as convincing. They feel like they're overacting or underacting and like a little stiff in a lot of ways. There's a few actors like Brad Leland, who plays the guy who runs the orphanage. Like, he feels like a genuine person here, but a lot of the other performances feel a little flat and a little hokey. But this film, it has a good, like, the ideas of it, like trying to find family and stuff like that, they're good, but it does get bogged down in this being an overly traditional, very archaic, old school kind of Western that doesn't really feel like it works anymore. It just feels a little condescending and a little insensitive in ways. And, like, I love Westerns. I'm a huge fan of Westerns, but, like, this just wasn't that interesting. And there could have been a lot of interesting things they could have done with this, like the film Hostiles, close kind of title, does things in a lot more interesting way and adds a lot more complexity to the characters. None of these characters have any complexity. They're all two-dimensional. Here's the characters, and, you know, these are like the good people, these are the bad people, and there's some moments that do get emotional and some intense moments, but it's hard to really feel as deeply because, like, the characters just aren't very deep. But in the end, I feel like this is a bit of a missed opportunity, and also like a Western that could have get left in like the 50s. But those are my thoughts on Hostile Territory. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.